Barcelona isn't just a test track, people. It is the judgment ground.
Oh, absolutely.
It is the concrete coliseum where the entire 2026 era is being born right now, screaming at 18,000 RPMs.
And it is not what we expected. Not at all.
If you are holding on to what you knew about the 2025 season, do yourself a huge favor. Burn the history books.
Shred them.
Shred the standings. Because Alpine has not just risen from the ashes, they have seemingly reinvented fire.
It is honestly not just a rise, is it? It is looking like a total resurrection. We are staring at a paradigm shift that I do not think any of the simulation models predicted.
We are digging into a stack of telemetry sheets, press briefings, and trackside reports today, and the headline is one name: Franco Colapinto. He hasn't just arrived. He has taken a sledgehammer to the garage door. Day 3 of testing has delivered a shock to the paddock that absolutely nobody saw coming.
Nobody.
We are looking at a rookie beating a veteran, a chassis design that seems to defy the conventional physics of the grid, and reliability stats that are making the giants look like amateurs.
And that is exactly what we need to unpack. Because the numbers we saw today, they aren't just good for a midfield team, they are terrifying for the competition.
Welcome to the DRS zone, the only place for raw, unfiltered F1 analysis. Strap in because we are going full throttle on this one.
Let's get into the data.
All right, first things first. We have to make the standard disclaimer. This segment is part of our news coverage of recent F1 events.
Okay.
Now, let's look at the number that has everyone losing their minds. Franco Colapinto. P4 overall on the timing sheets.
Yep.
1 minute, 19 seconds, 150 milliseconds. Boom.
It is a serious lap time, no doubt, but I want to pause you there. If you just look at the P4 on the timing screen, you are missing the entire story.
Oh, 100%.
You are looking at the surface. The real story, the one that matters, is in the context of when and how that lap was set.
You are talking about the teammate battle. This is where the data gets spicy.
This is where it gets good.
Colapinto set that time in the morning session. For the listeners who don't track evolution minutia, the morning is usually slower, right? The track is green, it's colder.
Exactly. Colder, less rubber laid down. The track evolution at Barcelona is significant. It's chemistry. As cars run, they lay down a layer of rubber into the asphalt pores.
Right, which increases grip.
Increases friction, increases grip. By the afternoon, the asphalt is also hotter, which usually helps tire warm up. Pierre Gasly, a race winner, a guy with massive experience, drove that afternoon session.
So, prime conditions. The track was faster.
Should have been, yes.
And yet, Gasly clocks a 1.19.297.
Which is slower.
The veteran is slower on a faster track. That shouldn't happen. Is Gasly just rusty? Or is there something else going on in the telemetry?
It is not rust. This is where the telemetry tells the truth, and it is fascinating. Colapinto beat Gasly by nearly 1.5 tenths.
A lifetime.
In Formula One, under these new 2026 regulations, 1.5 tenths is still a lifetime between teammates. But the difference comes down to the rear tire.
The black gold.
We are seeing a massive divergence in how they manage the rubber. The 2026 tires are finicky.
So what happened to Gasly's set?
Overheating. Pure and simple.
Yeah.
Gasly was driving with his typical aggressive style, attacking the entry, throwing the car in. But by the time he got to Sector 3, his rear tire temperatures were spiking.
He was sliding.
Fighting the car for traction. And for those visualizing the track, Sector 3 in Barcelona is the technical stuff. The chicanes, the slow traction zones.
You need rear grip there. If you don't have it, you're bleeding time.
Precisely. If you have cooked your tires in the high-speed corners of Sector 1 and 2, you arrive at Sector 3 with no grip left.
So what did Colapinto do?
Now, if you overlay Colapinto's telemetry, specifically in that final sector, he found what the engineers are calling a thermal calm.
Thermal calm. That sounds lovely. Like a spot treatment, but at 300 kilometers an hour. Explain that concept. Is he just driving slower?
No, he's driving smarter. It is stress management for the tire compound. Colapinto's laps, specifically laps 3, 4, and 5 of his stints, were nearly identical in pace. That consistency is key.
Right.
He wasn't killing the tire in the high-load corners of Sector 1. He was modulating his inputs, keeping the tire core temperature stable. So when he arrived at Sector 3, he still had the grip.
And Gasly.
Gasly had effectively turned his tires into marshmallows by that point.
That is a level of maturity you usually see in a guy like Alonso or Hamilton. You do not expect a rookie in preseason testing to be outmanaging a race winner on tire thermodynamics.
It is the difference between driving the lap you want to drive and driving the lap the tires will allow you to drive. Colapinto seems to understand the latter instinctively.
He isn't fighting the physics, he's working with them.
Exactly.
So the rookie is driving like a vet. But we can't just put this all on the driver. We have to talk about the machine itself. The A526.
Yeah, the car.
Last year, let's be honest, the Alpine was a tractor. It was heavy, slow, dead last. A disaster.
A total disaster.
Now they are fighting Mercedes. What did they change?
Yeah.
Everything.
Practically, yes. But it starts with a philosophical shift inside the design office. David Sanchez, the technical director, made a massive call this winter.
What was it?
In 2026, with these new aero regulations, the temptation for every engineer is to chase peak downforce in the wind tunnel. Just get the biggest number possible. Sanchez said, stop.
He stopped chasing downforce. In Formula One. That sounds like heresy.
It sounds crazy, right?
That's like a chef saying he's going to stop chasing flavor.
But here's the logic. He prioritized drivability over raw downforce. Think of it this way. You can build a car that has incredible theoretical grip, but if the rear end snaps on you unpredictably,
The driver loses confidence.
exactly, they lift off the throttle. A fearful driver is a slow driver.
So a car with a lower theoretical peak but a wider, more predictable operating window is actually faster on track because the human inside can trust it.
That's it. If the driver trusts the rear axle, they can commit to the corner. Sanchez built a car that is benign, it is balanced, it doesn't have a nasty bite at the limit.
So it is a driver's car. But looking at the technical schematics, there is some wizardry going on at the back of this thing. I keep seeing reports about reverse DRS.
Yeah, yes.
Normally DRS means the top flap opens up, drag goes down, car goes whoosh. What on earth is Alpine doing differently?
This is the aha moment of the design. This is where they might have outsmarted the rulebook.
Go on.
Under the 2026 active aero rules, there's a mode for the straights called X mode, where everyone dumps drag. Most teams are doing this by raising the leading edge of the wing elements.
Tilting it up to flatten it makes sense.
Alpine, they are lowering the trailing edge.
They are lowering the back of the wing. That feels counterintuitive.
It feels wrong, but physically it is brilliant. By lowering the trailing edge, they are effectively smoothing out the wake, the turbulent air that travels to the beam wing and the diffuser.
So they aren't just reducing drag on the wing.
They are cleaning up the airflow for the entire rear of the car.
So instead of just opening a slot like a barn door, they are reshaping the air to make the car slice through the atmosphere more efficiently.
Correct. They are optimizing the connection between the top wing and the floor. It is a specific interpretation that right now looks like genius.
I love it when engineers get cheeky with the regulations. But they didn't stop there. The front suspension.
The front suspension gamble. This is a massive divergence.
Huge.
Look at Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, the giants. They all went with a pushrod front suspension.
The standard proven layout.
Exactly. But Alpine and apparently Cadillac went with pull rod.
Which is a nightmare for the mechanics, isn't it?
Yeah.
A pain to work on.
It is. The components are buried at the bottom of the nose. But it is aggressive for aerodynamics.
Why? What's the benefit?
First, it moves the heavy internal suspension components lower.
Lower center of gravity.
Yeah.
That helps with cornering, right?
Exactly. Better change of direction. But more importantly, for 2026, think about the new, narrower front wings. The air coming off them is tricky. The pull rod layout clears up the airflow channel that leads directly to the side pod inlets and the floor. The push rod arm would be physically in the way.
So it opens up a highway for the air to feed the Venturi tunnels.
You got it. It is a high-risk, high-reward strategy. And if you look at how Colapinto is rotating the car, how sharp the nose is, that lower center of gravity is paying off.
It sounds like they built a fighter jet. But a fighter jet is useless if the engine explodes. And this is the biggest news of the off-season.
A heart transplant.
The end of an era.
Alpine finally admitted defeat.
They ripped out the Renault engine. And what did they put in? The Silver Arrow, a Mercedes power unit.
It was a pragmatic choice and probably the smartest thing they have done in a decade. They stopped fighting a losing engine war and they bought the best heart on the grid.
And the difference is night and day.
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at the stats from testing, the green zone, the reliability metrics.
Yeah.
In one morning session, how many laps did Colapinto put on the board?
56 laps. That is 260 kilometers.
That is almost a full Grand Prix distance. Before lunch.
He was lapping like a metronome, validating engine maps, checking cooling, running the hybrid systems hard, no glitches.
Now, for the listener to understand how impressive that is, let's compare it to the competition. Audi. All that money and hype. How did their morning go?
A disaster, a total catastrophe. Audi managed 23 kilometers.
23, that is what, 5 laps?
5 laps before critical failure. They spent the rest of the day behind privacy screens trying to stop fluid leaks.
Embarrassing. And what about HAAS?
Broken down before reaching 100 kilometers.
This is the story nobody is talking about enough. Alpine is running clean data. They are learning. Audi is fixing plumbing.
There's an old saying in racing, a fast car that breaks is a paperweight.
And Alpine has a car that runs.
And because it runs, Colapinto is gathering data points that Audi simply isn't getting. Every lap is a lesson learned. Audi is flying blind.
And that leads us perfectly to the driver himself. Let's talk about the Colapinto method. We are seeing a driving style that seems perfectly adapted to these new 2026 monsters.
Well, we have to remember, 2026 is the electric era. The regulations changed everything. 50% of the power is from the battery.
50%. That is a huge jump. So it was not just about mashing the gas pedal anymore.
No, it is about energy management. There is a phenomenon drivers are terrified of called clipping.
Clipping. Define that for us.
Okay, imagine you are accelerating down a long straight. You have 1,000 horsepower. Then, 200 meters before the braking zone, the battery dies. You suddenly lose 500 horsepower instantly.
Whoa.
The car feels like it hit a wall of air. That is clipping.
So you are a sitting duck. The guy behind you, if he saved his battery, just blows past you like you were standing still.
Exactly. And this is where Colapinto is shining. He is managing the torque delivery and the regenerative braking better than Gasly.
He's harmonizing the systems.
Yes. He knows exactly when to lift off the throttle slightly earlier to save energy and when to coast to ensure he has full power all the way to the braking zone.
It is like playing chess at 300 kilometers an hour while pulling 5 Gs.
And do not forget the active aero. The wings are physically moving. The balance of the car shifts constantly. The center of pressure moves.
Sounds terrifying. The car feels different in every corner.
It requires an incredible amount of sensitivity. The veterans, they have what we call bad habits or muscle memory.
They expect a static platform.
Right. Colapinto. He is fresh. He does not have those habits. He is adapting to the shifting balance faster. His braking sensitivity is elite.
He's writing the manual while he drives.
He really is. His engineer said it. He gives feedback that allows them to adjust the setup in real time. He isn't just a passenger. He is a development tool.
Okay, let's zoom out. We have a rookie who is faster and smarter on tires than his race-winning teammates.
Check.
We have a car with a Mercedes engine that runs like a Swiss watch. We have reverse DRS and pull rod suspension that actually works. Alpine has gone from the laughingstock of 2025 to a P4 reality check.
They have leapfrogged the midfield. They aren't looking at HAAS or Williams anymore. They're looking at the gearbox of the Mercedes and the McLaren.
It is absolutely electric. But here is the question, the big provocative thought I want to leave you all with. We've seen the speed, but think about Christian Horner at Red Bull. Think about Audi. Why are they sweating?
Because reliability is the silent killer in a new regulation era.
Exactly. Is Alpine's reliability the ultimate weapon? While Red Bull and Audi are trying to figure out how to keep their engines from melting, could Alpine steal podiums just by surviving?
In the first 5 races of a new regulation era, absolutely. To finish first you must finish.
And right now, Alpine is finishing.
If the Red Bulls break down and the Ferraris have issues, Colapinto is there to pick up the pieces. He is there to take the trophy.
That is the thought that should keep the paddock awake at night. The Colapinto revolution is real, and unlike the others, it is reliable.
It is going to be a fascinating season. I can't wait for Bahrain.
Listen, if you aren't following this day by day, you are missing out on history. Do not just listen. Join the movement. Follow DRS Zone right now on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. We do not stop until the checkered flag drops.
And watch that Sector 3 telemetry. That is where the truth is.
You heard the man. Keep your foot down and your DRS open.
Ow.